Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unraveling a historical puzzle that is honestly mind blowing. It bridges two vastly different parts of the world. Imagine a mystery from 2,000 years ago involving ancient maritime trade, a sprawling empire, and a South Asian princess who supposedly sailed across the ocean to help build a Korean dynasty. It literally sounds like the plot of a sweeping movie epic. But when we dive into the historical sources, we find a captivating trail of clues pointing to a very real cross-cultural connection. We're going to break this incredible narrative down step by step, unpacking the claims, the evidence, and the passionate debate surrounding this ancient queen. Okay, so let's jump right into the central question we're exploring today, which is just breathtaking. Could the legendary founder of a major Korean dynasty actually be a Tamil princess from Kanyakumari? The historical research we're looking at presents this super compelling theory about a woman named Sembavalam. The story goes that over 2 millennia ago, she packed up and set sail from the southern tip of India with a massive entourage. We're talking soldiers, maids, doctors, all on this long ocean voyage to marry a distant king. When she arrived, the locals called her Hio Hwangak, which researchers claim is actually a translation of her Tamil name, Sembavalam. But is this just a cool myth, or is there real historical weight to it? To really understand why this matters, we need to look at the numbers. 6 million. That is the massive scale of this claim. Over 6 million Koreans today, specifically those with the prominent Kim and Hyo family names, reportedly trace their lineage directly back to this single queen. We are talking about roughly 10% of the entire modern South Korean population. Their ancestral roots are allegedly tied right back to this South Asian princess. So this isn't just some niche historical footnote. It's literally a foundational story for millions of people. And her life story is just as staggering. Princess Sembavalam, or Queen Heo Hangok, married the Korean king Kim Suro, and together they had 12 children. Now, 2 of those kids actually took her family name, Heo, to keep her lineage alive, while the rest took the king's name, Kim. But maybe the most incredible detail from the ancient records is that she reportedly ruled over the vast Gaya kingdom for an astonishing 157 years. Her reign is described as this absolute golden era of prosperity and immense cultural integration. So, you're probably wondering, where are all these claims coming from? Well, the foundational evidence rests in an ancient Korean historical text called the Samguk Yusa. Historically, Koreans were really seeking to understand their own unique cultural identity, one that was distinctly separate from their powerful neighbors, China and Japan. In that search, they found crucial clues in the Samguk Yusa, which actually documents the arrival of Princess Heo Hwangok from a distant, mysterious kingdom referred to as Ayutthaya. This one ancient text is basically the anchor for the entire mystery we're unpacking today. But the connection goes way beyond just ancient texts. It's actually embedded in daily life. Linguistically, there are over 1,400 shared words between the Korean and Tamil languages. And the most striking examples, the words for father and mother are appa and amma in both cultures. How crazy is that? But it doesn't stop at language. They share identical traditional childhood games too. There's a Munkala-style board game known as Palanguzi in Tamil, spinning tops called Bombaram, and a shared cultural affinity for traditional swings. These similarities even extend into major cultural celebrations. On one side, you've got Chuseok in Korea, and on the other, Pongal in Tamil Nadu. Both of these are elaborate 3-day agricultural harvest festivals dedicated to giving thanks for the crops. The structural and thematic parallels between how these two totally distant cultures celebrate their harvest is just another remarkably strong piece of evidence supporting this Tamil-Korean connection. And then, we have to talk about the food. Interestingly, Korean culinary tastes separate them distinctly from neighboring Japan and China. While those countries often shy away from heavy spice, Koreans, much like Tamils, have a deep, deep preference for it. They also share a reliance on the mortar and pestle, a widespread love for pickles, sweet dumplings, which are known as kojikatai in Tamil, and rice porridge, or kanji. It's these everyday, foundational aspects of life that really build such a compelling case. But this brings us to a massive historical crossroads. If Queen Heo Hwang came from this mysterious kingdom of Ayutthaya, where exactly was Ayutthaya? The narrative pivots right here to address a major historical conflict. See, while almost everyone agrees she came from the Indian subcontinent, there is a fierce debate over her true geographic origin. Where did this queen actually set sail from? Okay, so mainstream historical belief points to North India, basically equating the ancient Ayutthaya with Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. However, the analysis we're unpacking today vehemently argues against this. It puts forward an alternative theory that she was unequivocally a Tamil princess from a southern region historically known as Ae Nadu in Tamil Nadu. Let's look at how the research actually attempts to debunk the mainstream narrative. When you break down the historical timeline, a really fascinating argument starts to build. We know the queen arrived in Korea by sea in 48 AD. Well, around this time, in the 2nd century, the region of Ayanadu thrived in Tamil Nadu. Crucially, the research argues that back in 48 AD, the North Indian city we now call Ayodhya was actually named Saketha. It wasn't renamed to Iota until the 5th century, hundreds of years after the queen's arrival. Furthermore, a key royal symbol associated with the queen, the twin fish, wasn't even adopted by the Nawabs of Uttar Pradesh until the 17th century. So when we contrast Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu across geography, maritime trade, and royal symbols, the evidence presented heavily favors the south. Uttar Pradesh is landlocked with no recorded ancient sea trade, right? Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu boasted these ancient coastal ports that literally exported goods globally to the Romans and Egyptians. And what about that twin fish royal symbol? The investigation suggests it's actually a 2,000-year-old emblem of the southern Pandyan dynasty. The research forcefully points out a major logistical problem with the North Indian theory. Uttar Pradesh is entirely landlocked. The historical records explicitly state that the queen arrived in Korea by ship after a long, perilous ocean voyage. In stark contrast to the north, Tamil Nadu's Kanyakumari was a thriving, bustling ancient port city deeply entrenched in global maritime dominance during the 1st century. So naturally, a sea arrival directly points to a coastal origin. Then there is the physical evidence left behind. Heavy significance is placed on the twin fish emblem, found carved right onto Queen Hyo Hwang-ok's tomb in Korea. Now, when Korean researchers in the 1990s saw this, they connected it to the twin fish symbol of Uttar Pradesh. However, this analysis argues that the North Indian symbol was established by the Nawabs in the 17th century, long after the queen's time. The twin fish found on the tomb actually belongs to the ancient Tamil Pandyan kings who used that exact emblem over 2,000 years ago, which perfectly aligns with the queen's timeline. But despite this mountain of evidence favoring Tamil Nadu, modern reality paints a very different picture. Today, a massive memorial dedicated to Queen Hyo Hwang-ok stands in Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh. The mainstream narrative has essentially been cemented, and this site in North India draws over 60,000 Korean pilgrims every single year who come to pay respects to their ancestral mother. This is presented as a profound historical misdirection, with a lingering frustration from researchers that the Tamil connection has been entirely overshadowed. So the crucial takeaway here is that regardless of which side of the historical debate you fall on, the cultural footprint left behind is just undeniable. We'll conclude today's explainer with a really poignant dying wish attributed to the queen. On her deathbed, she reportedly said, "Just as my children call me Amma, my people should follow, my language and culture must live on in Korea." Whether she sailed from the ancient ports of Ayanadu or hailed from the north, her legacy is a beautiful testament to the incredible, ancient bonds that can tie two totally distant worlds together. It really leaves us with a fascinating question. How many other ancient cross-cultural mysteries are hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be uncovered? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with us.